Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we peel back the layers of corporate filings and see what is really going on behind the fancy words and numbers. Today we might be looking at a proxy statement, but trust me, there is more to this than just meeting minutes and director bios. It is like a sneak peek into the company's future and who is steering the ship. So buckle up because we are diving deep into ALT5 Sigma Corporation's latest proxy statement for their 2025 annual meeting of stockholders. You might be thinking, a proxy statement, who cares, right? Well, this document tells us about the company's upcoming annual meeting, the proposals that will be voted on, and importantly, it gives us a snapshot of who owns what and how much they are getting paid. Let's start with the big picture, the annual meeting itself. This meeting, scheduled for the 27th of February 2026, is where stockholders get to vote on key decisions. What are those decisions? Well, three main things are on the table. First, the election of 7 directors to the company's board of directors. Second, they are looking to ratify the appointment of L.J. Soldinger Associates LLC as the company's independent registered public accounting firm for 2025. And third, they want approval for an adjournment proposal, which basically gives the board flexibility if more time is needed to discuss things. Now, who are these directors that are up for election? We have Zachary Wickoff, who is the chairman of the board. Then there is Tony Isaac, our acting chief executive officer and corporate secretary. We also see Zachary Folkman, Nail Hajar, John Bitar, Dr. Adil El-Mesri, and Tim Stanley, all nominated to serve for a 1-year term. The report gives us a little bio for each of them, highlighting their experience and why they should be on the board. For instance, Zachary Wickoff brings experience in cryptocurrency and ALT5, which he co-founded, giving him significant business experience and a good understanding of where the company is headed. Tony Isaac has a long history with the company since 2015, bringing investment and financial expertise. John Bitar is noted for his consulting and legal background, offering operational expertise. Zachary Folkman is also a co-founder of ALT5 and has experience in the digital asset space. Nail Hajar is an economist with extensive experience in data analysis and public research. Dr. El-Mesri brings a background in fintech, blockchain systems, and technology leadership, and Tim Stanley rounds out the team with decades of senior executive leadership and public company board experience in various industries. It seems like they are really emphasizing experience in technology and finance given the company's nature. Looking at the details for these nominees, we hear about their backgrounds. Zachary Wickoff, for instance, has been chairman since August 2025 and is a co-founder and chief executive officer of World Liberty Financial Incorporated, or WLFI. He brings experience in building USD1 stablecoins. Tony Isaac has been a director since 2015 and served as CEO until recently, and now acting CEO. His background includes financial strategy and economics, with Live Ventures Incorporated, a holding company. John Bitar has been a director since 2020 and has been providing consulting services on business and legal strategies. Zachary Folkman is a co-founder of WLFI and has served as a director since September 2024, bringing experience in the digital asset space. Nail Hajar is an economist and data analyst with experience in public opinion research and national accounting, and has worked with Statistics Canada. Dr. Adil El-Mesri has extensive experience in fintech and blockchain systems, having co-founded AlphaFin and served as its president and chief technology officer. Tim Stanley brings over 3 decades of executive leadership and public company board experience across technology, healthcare, and other sectors. The company seems to be building a board with a strong emphasis on fintech, crypto, and digital assets, which makes sense given their business. Now, let's talk money, because that is what most of us are really interested in. The report details executive compensation for fiscal year 2024. We see compensation figures for key officers. Peter Tassiopoulos, who is Chief Executive Officer, received stock awards and options totaling over $1 million. Tony Isaac, as president and secretary, had a salary bonus and stock award totaling over $700,000 for 2024. Verland A. Johnson, the former chief financial officer, also had his compensation detailed. The report even includes a pay versus performance table, which is a bit of a mouthful, but essentially it tries to show how the company's financial performance aligns with what executives are paid. For 2024, Peter Tassiopoulos had compensation actually paid of $140,000, while Tony Isaac had a much higher $900,000. This is interesting because the total compensation, according to the summary compensation table, was higher for Peter Tassiopoulos, due to stock awards that were granted but not received until later. This highlights how accounting for compensation can sometimes differ from when money or stock is actually received. Looking further into the compensation tables, we see some interesting points. For example, in 2024, Peter Tassiopoulos received substantial stock awards and option awards, which make up the bulk of his compensation, totaling $106,800. Tony Isaac's compensation in 2024 was $700,459 comprising salary and bonus. It is important to note that the compensation actually paid column in the pay versus performance table can differ from the summary compensation table. For instance, Tony Isaac's compensation actually paid in 2023 was less than his summary compensation total because some stock awards granted in 2023 were not received until 2024. This is a common nuance in executive compensation reporting. The report also touches on outstanding equity awards. As of the 28th of December 2024, Tony Isaac had some unexercised options for 2,000 shares at an exercise price of $9.90. Peter Tasiopoulos did not have any unexercised options listed but had restricted stock units outstanding from grants made in 2024. These equity awards are a key part of how companies attract and retain executive talent. The company also outlines its equity incentive plans, the 2024 Equity Incentive Plan, the 2023 Equity Incentive Plan, and the 2016 Stock Compensation Plan. These plans allow for the issuance of stock options, restricted stock awards, and units. Diving into the financial tables and auditor information, we see that for the fiscal year ending the 27th of December 2025, the audit fees are estimated at $99,725. Tax fees are higher at $118,062, and other fees add another $27,260. For fiscal year 2024, the audit fees were $122,999, tax fees were $39,922, and other fees were $20,500. The appointment of L.J. Soldinger Associates LLC as the independent registered public accounting firm for fiscal year 2025 is subject to stockholder ratification. This is a standard practice to ensure transparency and investor confidence. The company also specifies that in fiscal years 2025, 2024, and 2023, they paid significant amounts to their auditors. For example, in 2025, the total fees paid were $245,047, which includes a substantial amount for tax services. This shows that the company is investing in professional accounting services beyond just the annual audit. Now, for the ownership structure, who are the major players holding shares in ALT5 Sigma Corporation? The report lists directors and executive officers as beneficial owners. Tony Isaac, for example, holds common stock. It also highlights major beneficial owners who hold 5.0% or more of the company's voting securities. Cree RCM LP is a significant holder with 7.10% of the common stock. This information is crucial for understanding who has influence over the company's direction. This section is always interesting because it sheds light on dealings between the company and its officers, directors, or their close relatives. Tony Isaac, the acting CEO, is the father of John Isaac, who is president and CEO of Live Ventures Incorporated. The company shares some executive accounting and legal services with Live Ventures, which resulted in approximately $144,000 in shared costs for 2024. They also have a sublease arrangement with Live Ventures for office space. Additionally, there are details about promissory notes and consulting agreements involving related parties. For instance, on the 4th of March 2024, a 2-year consulting agreement was signed with John Isaac for strategic financial advice and business development. He received compensation including restricted shares and a convertible promissory note. These related party transactions are disclosed to ensure fairness and transparency for all shareholders. One of the more significant recent disclosures is the Master Loan and Security Agreement entered into on the 29th of January 2026 between the company's indirect subsidiary ALT5 Digital Holdings Incorporated and WLFI. Zachary Wyckoff, the chairman of the board, is the CEO and co-founder of WLFI, and Zachary Folkman, a director, is also a co-founder. This agreement is for collateralized loans up to $15 million with an interest rate of 4.50% per annum. The security for the loan is WLFI tokens owned by the borrower. This kind of transaction shows strategic financial moves and potential partnerships involving key individuals within the company, a point that is worth noting. Now, for my take, ALT5 Sigma Corporation seems to be navigating a complex financial and regulatory landscape. The focus on electing experienced directors with backgrounds in fintech and digital assets suggests a clear strategic direction. The executive compensation and related party transactions are disclosed in line with regulatory requirements providing transparency. The company is actively managing its financial resources as evidenced by the loan agreement and equity incentive plans. The company's strength lies in its focused leadership and clear strategic vision within the digital asset space. However, like any company in a rapidly evolving industry, there are inherent risks. The reliance on specific technologies and market acceptance of digital assets are key factors to watch. The related party transactions, while disclosed, require ongoing scrutiny to ensure they always serve the best interests of all shareholders, not just a select few. Overall, the proxy statement paints a picture of a company actively pursuing growth and managing its operations with a clear board and executive team structure. It is important for investors to stay informed about these developments as they significantly shape the company's future trajectory. Alright, that is our deep dive into ALT5 Sigma Corporation's proxy statement. What are your thoughts on these proposals, the director's qualifications, or the compensation details? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate insights. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for even more discussions and access to resources. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next episode of Corporate Decoder.